bring in a key Democrat right now on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Senator Chris Coons. Senator, thanks so much for joining us. As you know, intense talks are underway right now on trying to move forward with the aid package without the border component. Are you confident that that bill can get the 60 votes in the Senate it needs and then pass the House as well?
No, Wolf, I'm not. Frankly, the world is on fire. We have conflict all over the world, and nation after nation is calling for American leadership, for America to continue to contribute to peace and security in several different important regions. This is a serious time, and it calls for serious legislators. Unfortunately, House Republicans have shown they are utterly unserious, trying to address the border security challenges we face, our crisis at the southern border, not with the bipartisan, long-negotiated package that we had on the floor here in the Senate, but by trying to impeach the Homeland Security Secretary, Alejandro Mayorkas. Even that they failed to do. Right now, as the introduction just revealed to everybody who's watching, Wolf, we are trying to put back together the package that would provide critically needed support to Ukraine, to Israel, to Taiwan, and humanitarian relief that would help millions who are struggling in Gaza, in Ukraine, and in dozens of other countries. I hope and pray we will do so. But no, I can't tell you I'm confident about what the House will do about anything.
Senator, why did the bipartisan negotiated package on border security fail in the U.S. Senate floor today? And do you question whether Republican senators are reliable legislative partners?
Yes, I question that. This isn't the first time that we've had a real failure on immigration policy. In 2013, we passed a big bipartisan comprehensive immigration bill in the Senate. Sent it to the House. The Republican majority never took it up. In 2018, a bipartisan group of us worked for months to produce a bill after then-President Donald Trump said, bring me a bill that will fund the border wall. I will sign a bill that gives dreamers a pathway to citizenship. Former President Trump himself killed that bill on the floor that day. That's what's happened here. We had a strong bipartisan majority eager to move this bill forward until just a few days ago. As you just heard Senator McConnell say, it's because Republicans were insisting on a border security provision before they would support Ukraine that we began this 4-month-long journey of negotiation. And it's James Langford of Oklahoma, one of the most conservative members of this Senate, who was the lead negotiator on the Senate side. They struck a hard bargain. Don't take my word for it. Brandon Judd, the head of the Border Patrol labor organization, has endorsed this bill. He's someone who is no fan of Democrats, but said that this bill would make the border more secure. Even in the face of that, because Donald Trump said, don't solve the border problem, I want an issue to run on, unfortunately, Republicans in the Senate have abandoned this bill. We are now going to try to take up the bill without the border provisions, and I hope and pray we will succeed in passing it and sending it to the House.
While I have you, Senator, I quickly want to turn to this latest U.S. drone strike targeting a commander in Iraq who the U.S. says was responsible for those attacks on U.S. forces in the region. What's your reaction?
I think this was the right thing for our president to do. It was last Friday that I stood on the tarmac at Dover Air Force Base with our president, Secretary of Defense, senators from Georgia and Delaware, as we welcomed home the remains of the 3 American Army reservists, all from Georgia, who were killed in a strike in Jordan just a few days earlier. Our president said we would respond at a time and in a means of our choosing, and there was an initial round of strikes at a variety of different bases used by these militia who are supported and funded by Iran to attack Americans. This strike showed a willingness, a determination to strike at the very leadership of these organizations and to exact a price for those who would kill Americans in the Middle East.
Yeah, right in the heart of the Iraqi capital of Baghdad. How concerned are you, though, about possible escalation as these retaliatory strikes continue?
Look, ever since October 7th, when Hamas carried out a horrific attack against Israeli civilians, our president has been focused on the risk of escalation. As the Houthis have carried out attacks in the Red Sea, as Hezbollah has fired rockets into northern Israel, and as these militias controlled by Iran, mostly in Iraq, but also in the region in Jordan and Syria, have attacked American troops and bases. Throughout all of that, we should be concerned about escalation. That's why I'm grateful we have a president with decades of seasoning, of experience in foreign policy, who understands the region and who understands how to strike the balance, to work to restore peace, to deliver relief and aid to the Gazans, and to work with Israel and other nations in the region to contain Iran and to push back on their proxies.
We'll see what happens. Senator Chris Coons, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Wolf.
Coming up, the